one of the goals I have as a father and also actually a pastor is to encourage people to be well balanced in life, which is a great opportunity to maintain that balance. You know, you learn how to win and to lose. Sometimes you have individual successes and team successes, but you also have individual losses. So sports was very important to me as a public school kid. I always think that everybody, or really anybody that pays taxes and funds for the public school system in their area should have access to what the public school provides. Obviously, if you're an elderly person and your kids are growing, your grandkids are growing, I mean, they may not need it as much, but I still think they should be able to use the track if they want because our taxes pay for all that. My son plays competitive football, and the public school areas here will not allow him to play. And again, going back to the social activity, I think it's a great opportunity for him to learn to be a Christian in a place where maybe Christianity is not emphasized. But we were said no, so we had to make a 2-hour trip to Springfield, Missouri, where he can participate in the homeschool football team. They play against public schools, which I think is great. But still, I think, I go back to the whole freedom thing. I think we should have the freedom to choose if we want to participate in local public schools.
Two thieves through all the agonizing pain. There was no complaint for Jesus, no curses. Do you know what Jesus said? Did he say, curse them, God? No, he said, Father, forgive them. You can feel the door.
We are enrolled in a school in Florida, and so we do have to keep up with their schedule. And so it's like, oh, we don't want to do school today. No, we can't do that. We've got to keep on their schedule. And so there is flexibility in the fact that, you know, we don't have to be in school from 8 to 3 every day, you know.
And the few who remained at Calvary, including Mary Magdalene, Mary the mother of James the Less, and Salome.
But we do have to get the stuff done. So like today, we have to run to church to do some things. That's fine. But when we get home, we're going to have to still finish up, you know. So we have the flexibility that we can, if it's during school hours, we can jump out and do something, but we'll still have to go back. We travel quite a bit. My husband speaks to teenagers and a lot of churches, and he likes us to go with him a lot of times. And the flexibility is we can bring our books. We can do it in the motel, or if we're staying in someone's home, we can do it there during the day, because we usually have services in the evenings. And so we're able to do that, you know. And so there is a lot of flexibility with it that we wouldn't necessarily be able to do if we were enrolled in, you know, a private school or even in a public school.
Because it was already up. It was already up.
One of the big reasons I was a big fan of homeschooling is just because it just brought our family close together. And our family is a very tight-knit family. We're so close to each other. I love the fact that and at the drop of a hat, we can go do anything together, especially ministry-wise, since I'm in the ministry. So that's probably one of the big reasons I love it. Even at the time we started homeschooling, I didn't realize I'd be traveling so much, but I get invited to speak sometimes 26 to 30 weeks out of a year at conferences and camps, and even internationally. My kids have been able to travel overseas. So talk about social activities. It's been a blessing to be able to do that. So because of homeschool, we're able to travel anytime we want throughout the year. I often said that I can only be a dad once. And in fact, I turned down quite a few speaking engagements this year because I wanted to watch my son play football. I haven't missed a single game of his. I haven't missed a single game of his basketball game this year. And I was the same way with my daughter. I love being at every game. I just love being there as a dad. I'm willing to commit to them if they're committed to the sport and committed to their God.
And then you should have a planned meeting place, as Grant liked to tell us a couple weeks ago.
I often tell my kids, I said, I'd be a good mom if I didn't homeschool. Because, I mean, you have to be tough as a homeschool mom, and sometimes, you know, you do get frustrated with the kids, and it's just, you know, some days it's worse. But then you have your really good days too, and it's like, you know, we did okay today. And I've got one graduated, and the second one's getting ready to graduate. And after they graduate, you know, they turn that tassel. It's like, yeah, it's worth it. So it's not easy, but it is worth it.
Death is something that you might want to do very much. It might simply